45-second long runs. The runs over when 45 seconds elapses, or if you have 2 falls become detached from the bike, that'll end your run. Basically, the best possible run score you can get here is a 50. It's your 2 best runs total together, and the top 3 guys out of each heat will be moving on into a 6-man final.
And here we go. Paul Ryan out of Liverpool. Right there, that gives you all the street cred you need.
So you see the 2 clocks up in the right-hand corner, the one on right in gray, that is the run clock. Remember, it's 45 seconds, or if you have 2 falls, that'll end your run early. And the one to the left of that, that is the jam session clock. So we're underway here. Heat 1, Paul Ryan on course.
Got a little time left on the clock, but it looks like he's calling it there. It's up to 45 seconds. We say up to, you know, if you nailed everything and you roll off the course at 40, it's not like some gigantic penalty. This is kind of a flowy jam format to it. And these guys will approach it accordingly.
I don't know if he realized that he still had time left on the clock there, but he went out there for another hit, but the horn sounded there, so these last couple of tricks that he just rolled into there, that won't actually count. So you can see the score has already come in as he has a 23 there. The best run score that you can get is a 50. We have 5 judges here that are judging using a 15-point scale, and how that works, we drop the high and the low scores and average the 3, or total the 3 maybe together, I should say, and then you get 5 points for actually rolling in for your run. This is Sean Sexton on course right now.
Yeah, and he's putting a run together. Sean is a veteran. You can count on him. More often than not, riding really dialed, doing big stuff, just looking like a guy that really got it together.
Nice 360 there, coming down. Street riding, obviously a lot more technical than what we saw in the park competition yesterday. What are some of the things that the judges are going to be focusing on here today, Dennis?
Well, when you say a lot more technical can be defined a lot of ways, but here, when we're talking technical, look for things that they do on the rails, whether or not they do it the opposite direction for them, whether or not they throw in the bars in or out of a trick, better yet, in and out. Here he's going up and he's feeble on that ledge there, popping off 270 to Faggy.
Oh, the no hand?
Yeah, no-hander 3
flat. I didn't see that
steps.
in real time.
Speaking of technical,
and again, when you say opposite, these guys all favor one direction that they turn. So whenever you hear us use the term opposite, it means they're spinning in an unnatural direction.
Yeah, it's weird. Every single one of these guys, right foot forward and turns counterclockwise. I say it's weird because it's really 50-50 for the most part. It's not like baseball where you're right-handed or you bat, you know. Most guys bat with the right hand or pitch with the right hand. No, in BMX it's 50-50, but in this field, every single guy.
Look at this tech line right here. Jeremiah Smith, excellent bike control skills.
And while we're discussing which direction these guys are riding, Jeremiah's out here just putting a run together, one trick after another.
But you've got 23 out of Paul Ryan, and then you've got a 26 out of Sean Sexton here. Remember, the best run score you can get is a 50 as we take a look at some replays on the left-hand side there of Jeremiah Smith.
Popping up into a hang 5.
Using some flatland skills there.
33.
That's a great run there for Jeremiah. Look at Bruno Hoffman starting out.
That was dialed. Nose manual to fakie down the hubble ledge. And then, it was so dialed with the backwards manual combos. Those things are very inconsistent tricks for most people, so to come out swinging like this.
Look at this. He was on point until that right there. That's 2 falls, though, so he can continue the run. He's still got 22 seconds left.
Yeah, and, you know, nice hangover 2/3. When you get this tech, it's just bound to happen that you're not going to necessarily ride clean from start to finish, but this run has got it going on.
Yeah, hangover is another one of those terms you'll hear a lot. That's when they're doing a grind and the back tire of the bike's hanging off the opposite side of the rail from which they're grinding on.
Oh, man. Yes.
What a great run. I mean, despite the fault, that was a great run there for Bruno.
Full cab off the end there. That's he'll be rewarded for that run.
Nose bonk, 180 out.
Backwards manual and pop it up. By the time you're, there's quite a bit of rotation by the time we're all said and done.
But on course right now, this is Chad Curley. This is the guy that was battling it out in Los Angeles last year with Garrett Reynolds. And he has
half-cab whip.
Amazing bicycle control skills.
And he's just nose manualing out of it's just out of this world how good he's got these nose manuals. Yes! The new school crew are almost all brakeless, and they've got nose manuals down so good now. You used to have to tap that brake to keep, the back end up, but it's not the case anymore.
The pace he's going right here.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Smith to nose bonk to bar in. Yeah, Chad's on it. And throwing the
bar spin to manual down, and that's going to be tough right there
360
on the ice pick grind. That's a great run. Now, going back to what I said earlier about the pace, everyone's had a decent run here, but he's out there hard charging. You see he's flowing through this course a little bit faster than everybody else we've seen here in round one of this heat.
Look at this.
42. Look at that score.
Yeah, half cab, tail whip in. That run was just dialed. Oh, and I love that nose-mounted fakie.
And then right here, looked like he was running out of room on course.
Yeah,
and he gets right out of it.
Paul Ryan right out of the gate, truck driver down the stair set.
Look at that score, though, of 42. Two best runs out of this heat total together. Top three guys will be moving on into the final. We have another heat of riders still to come in heat number 2.
Down whip, getting a little table in.
We're at 9 minutes left here in this opening heat jam session.
And a little oppo feeble there for him across the ledge.
180 out of that rail grind, going down to flat. So we're just getting into round 2 of heat number 1. We've still got a little over 8 minutes to go. Stick around. More BMX Street when we come back. So Paul ends up with a 27 and a 23, gives him a total of 50 as we bring back in Sean Sexton.
Nice fast plant
3.
Fast plant 3, and he did it like stylish. I mean, we use that word a lot, but if you do something and it's sloppy, it almost hurts you more than helps. That was very dialed.
Yeah, I'm just throwing this little nugget out there. Sean's the only person who's ever beaten Garrett in a worldwide Xgames street competition. He did it at Xgames Mexico back in 2008. Otherwise, this has been the Garrett Reynolds party when it comes to these events.
Yes, it has. And Sean also took a bronze the very first year in 08 behind that, both Garrett Reynolds and Van Holman, who had that epic battle. So not to be overlooked, he's just been a consistent rider from day one.
That's 2 consistent runs for him. Wraps it up there with the hang 5. Let's see what this does for his score. Remember, that first run was a 26. But again, looking up ahead to Chad, a 42. So Sean ups the ante a little bit. He gets a 26. Now he's got a 27. So that gives him a total of 53. So your top 3.
Look at this line from Jeremiah, though. Starting with an ice pick grind, throwing a bar spin in. I mean, this has been on one wheel the whole time. And, that would have been nice. But, all on a manual, then hopping right into a hang 5 and keeping the flow going.
He's got the 3rd highest single run score of the heat so far. We're coming up on the 7-minute mark. Still got about 20 seconds left on the clock here.
Yes.
Truck driver to flat. That's a 360 with the bar spin when we use that term truck driver.
Nice. Feeble to down whip, but he's popping off a tiny little bank there. If you go between the stair set, you'll see there's a tiny little bank. Ice pick grinding it up and down.
Yeah, up and down the A-frame.
As long way to the top plays in the background.
Nice reference. There you go. It was a long way to the top of that rail. Look at this this, the truck driver, the flat.
I mentioned tiny little bank because a lot of these bunny hop tricks, you know, when you see Stevie Churchill attack the course, you hope bunny hop truck driver off of anything. And same goes for three whips. Well, that gives you a little bit of a pop when you've got the bank at the top.
That fall hurt Jeremiah Smith a little bit there. He's got a 22, so 33 to 22 gives him a total of 55 as Bruno Hoffman.
Yeah, feeble to hard 180 there, and Bruno, you know, based on his first run, he's in a zone today. He usually is. He's a pretty dialed rider no matter whatever you
very consistent.
But you see, I mean, the type of things that he throws in with all these rollback, you know, reverse manuals, things that just aren't meant to be pulled real consistently, but he makes it happen.
So there's the buzzer for Bruno. Bring back in Chad Curley. Coming up on the 5-minute mark here for heat number 1.
Hopping over tooth, cranking a manual in, and getting another tooth.
39 and a 31 gives him a 70 total here.
Long ice pick grind.
Look at that. Bunny hops over that gap and keeps manually to nose manual.
Oh,
back to manual. What a run over that was.
Now, what if you can go over the 45 seconds if you're still in your first combo?
Welcome back to X Games Barcelona. We are here at the BMX Street Final. We're in the middle, or the latter half, I should say, of heat number 1 up 2. This is Chad Curley.
And we don't see that often.
And there you go. He was having a great run, and with about 8 or 9 seconds left, he goes over the bars. He's our highest single run score of the heat so far with a 42. And he was on point prior to us coming back from break.
Yeah, he starts out with an ice pick grind down the rail, keeps the manual going, over the gap with the manual, carry it up, right into a nose manual, back to a manual. Like I said, if this was a 1-minute combo, you should just let him keep going past the buzzer.
So we go back up to the top of the order here, coming up on the 4-minute mark with Paul Ryan.
Look at Curley with a 74, even with that run with the fall. This run was so dominant that he could still make it out of this heat.
That first run was huge with a 42. If you're just joining us, the best possible run score you can get here is a 50. So we take your 2 best runs totally together. This is just heat 1 of 2. We take the top 3 guys out of this heat. They'll join the top 3 guys out of heat number 2, and we will have a 6-man final before we hand out some BMX Street hardware here in Barcelona.
Opposite 360 from Paul Ryan there. This is his first X Games appearance.
Well, ESPN has some great MLB matchups coming up on Sunday and Monday. On Sunday at 8 Eastern, Detroit faces the Texas Rangers. Then on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, the New York Yankees take on the Baltimore Orioles.
Nose bump to bar in from Sean Sexton, and unfortunately, right when I'm saying he's flowing, it goes sour for him, but he's a dialed rider. He's one of my favorite riders to watch, and watch closely, you'll see why. Riding with a free coaster there too. If you notice, some of the guys, when they roll back, they're pedaling backwards. Most guys ride a typical freewheel, and you'll have to pedal backwards to keep ahead of the drivetrain. He rides a free coaster, meaning that he can roll back and not have to worry about where his pedals are placed.
He's got a 26 and a 27. Total those together is a 53. Top 3 right now, it's Curley, Hoffman, and Smith. Bruno's 4 points behind Chad for that top spot. And then Jeremiah in 3rd with 55.
It's like sort of a nollie up that little bank, toboggan in. A nollie is when you take off of your front wheel. You throw in kind of like a nose manual as you gap off of something.
So 21 there for Sean, so he'll throw that one out. Bringing back up Jeremiah Smith, currently sitting in that 3rd position. Again, you get 2 falls. With the runs are 45 seconds, but 2 falls will injure run. So when you see these guys come off the bike once, they get to keep going. It's 2 falls before the run gets called over. As we hit the 2-minute mark.
Downward 3 over the tiny little.
Low bump to bar spin out there. 540 on that wedge.
No foot can. This is he's riding this like he's doing a little park run here.
That fall, I don't know that's going to be enough to overtake that 30. Excuse me.
He's on 22 that he's got. I think it will, actually, the way he's coming on here at the end, because he's just putting in trick after trick after trick to finish this off.
Well, that first run he had a 33.
He'll drop this 22.
He's only got there's a 1 point difference between him and all right. However, I don't know that we're going to get through with runs being 45 seconds long. We may not get through the rotation again here.
That was beautiful.
So he's giving himself a little breathing room there. Bruno Hoffman back on course.
Yeah. Master of tech riding and going big. 540 to fakie down stair sets is no joke. Neither is that. Feeble to hard 360 off, but he's done the biggest set I've ever seen, 540 to fakie. And he's no stranger to just getting technical when he needs to.
Feeble to 180 off, and then bunny hopping up the ledge to Manuel.
Oh man, and catching it back.
Yes!
Feeble fakie on the ledge.
Oh, right there at the end.
Wow, that was nice.
31 are his best
show of approval from the other riders out there. That, you know.
He gets rid of that 31, gives him a 33, jumps him up to a 72. He'll stay in that second position.
Oh, and just the rollback. That's, you know, I mentioned earlier, like he does have a free wheel, so that catches you up a little. You know, if he's on a free coaster, who knows that? Nice whip 180 from Curly.
This will take us out of the jam session here. As time is winding down here in the heat, we've got the last couple of seconds, so they'll let Chad finish on his run. Wow, look at that.
That is a tall hover ledge.
Look at this run.
Yeah, that's a tall hover ledge. He bunny hops up it like it's nothing, and then 540 to fakies off.
Bar spin into the manual line here. Comes up the nose manual on that deck.
Back to manual. Similar to the line he did earlier, but he ends up. Hey, even Chad Curley, as consistent as he is, every once in a while, those rollbacks.
Well, that'll do it. Heat number 1 is in the books. So Chad Curley, Bruno Hoffman, and Jeremiah Smith are advancing into the final as we take a look at some replays.
Look at that. He has so much pop to get up on that ledge and then still have the speed and more pop to do a 540 to fakie. And then half cap bar in, and then whip in. Yeah, you're right. He's throwing all kinds of stuff in there.
Well, he's your top guy moving out of this heat with an overall score of 79. So those are your top 3. Moving on, keep in mind, we've got Heat 2 still to come. More BMX Street when we come back. Just one of the amazing sights you can see here in the city of Barcelona, playing host here to the second stop of the 2013 Summer X.